Welcome back to another episode of our story series. Tonight, we're diving into episode 5 of Dangerous Queen, titled The Queen's Favorite. The club pulsed with the heavy thrum of deep bass and was bathed in red lights, the kind that blurred faces and made secrets easier to keep. Queen walked through the packed crowd like she owned the entire world because in her little kingdom of flashing lights and whispered rumors, she did. Every single eye in the room followed her every move, but her gaze was laser-focused, searching for one person and one person only: Poor, the woman who had somehow inexplicably slipped past all of her defenses. There she was. Poor was behind the bar, her hair tied up in a casual but elegant knot, wearing that simple white shirt that always, without fail, made Queen's heart race. She smiled the moment she saw her, that soft, teasing smile that promised just the right amount of danger. "Your usual?" Poor asked, her voice steady and calm, but Queen noticed her hands trembled just slightly as she reached for a glass and began to pour the drink. Queen leaned forward across the bar, her signature perfume filling the charged air between them. "You remember too much, Poor," she said, her voice a low purr. "Maybe that's dangerous." Poor didn't flinch. Instead, she met her gaze head-on. "Maybe I like danger," Poor replied, her eyes lacking with Queen's. There was a palpable electricity between them, raw, alive, and utterly intoxicating. Every word they shared carried the weight of the past few nights, stolen glances across crowded rooms, hidden touches that lingered far too long, and a single, unforgettable kiss that still burned on both their lips. But tonight felt different. Tonight, it seemed like everyone was watching. Just then, Queen's long-standing rival, Mint, entered the club. She moved like smoke, her eyes fixed on Queen with an unnerving intensity. The tension between them wasn't just about business anymore, it had become deeply personal. Poor immediately noticed the way Queen stiffened, her charming smile turning sharp and cold. "What's she doing here?" Poor whispered, her voice laced with concern. Queen downed her drink in one swift motion, then turned her full attention back to Poor. "Stay close to me," she commanded. The night quickly spiraled into chaos. A fight broke out near the dance floor. It was Mint's men against Queen's loyal guards. The sharp sound of breaking glass and angry shouting filled the air, turning the club's vibrant energy into a battlefield. In the midst of the mayhem, Queen grabbed Poor's wrist and pulled her through a side door, into the narrow, dimly lit hallway behind the club. They ran, hand in hand, until the noise of the fight faded into a muffled, distant echo. Leaning against the cool brick wall, Poor tried to catch her breath. "You really live dangerously, don't you?" she panted, looking at Queen with a mixture of awe and fear. Queen just smirked. "It's called survival." She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a low, soft tone that sent shivers down Poor's spine. "But you're the only risk I can't seem to control." Poor swallowed hard, her heart pounding in her chest. "And what if I don't want to be controlled?" Queen smiled, that slow, dangerous smile that always made Poor's knees weak. "Then maybe you deserve to be the Queen's favorite." She moved in before Poor could even think of an answer. Their lips met slowly at first, testing the waters, remembering the feel of each other. Then, pure hunger took over. Poor's fingers tangled in Queen's long hair, pulling her closer, breathing her in like she was oxygen. The kiss deepened. It was messy, desperate, and incredibly real. In that moment, the world outside, with all its dangers and rivals, didn't exist anymore. Queen pressed Poor against the wall, her hands tracing the outline of her body, memorizing every curve. "You drive me crazy," she whispered between breathless kisses. "Good," Poor murmured, a smile playing on her lips. "You need someone who can." Suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps interrupted their private world. Mint's voice, sharp and mocking, echoed down the hallway. "Queen, hiding already?" Queen reluctantly pulled back, her eyes dark with a familiar fire. "Stay here," she ordered Poor, her voice firm. Poor grabbed her hand, her eyes pleading. "Don't go out there," but Queen cut her off with one last kiss, fierce and fast. "You're my weakness, Poor, and my reason to fight." With that, she stepped back into the light, ready to face Mint. The air was thick with tension, two queens locked in a silent, brutal war. Mint smirked, her confidence infuriating. "You think you can protect her forever?" Queen's jaw tightened. "Try me." They stood there, just inches apart, power crackling between them like static electricity. Behind the wall, Poor listened, her heart pounding against her ribs. She knew this wasn't just about love anymore, it was about survival. And in Queen's world, love and danger were one and the same. Minutes later, which felt like an eternity, The shouting stopped. The footsteps faded away. When Poor finally found the courage to step out from her hiding spot, Queen was waiting for her. There was a small cut on her lip, but a triumphant smile was on her face. "I told you," she said softly, her voice full of relief and possessiveness. "No one touches what's mine." Poor walked up to her, her eyes fixed on the wound. She gently touched the cut on Queen's lip, then leaned in and kissed it softly. "You're impossible," she whispered against her skin. Queen chuckled, the sound warm and genuine. "And you're the only one who gets to call me that." Just then, the main club lights flickered back on, signaling that the chaos had subsided. Queen took Poor's hand and led her not back into the crowd, but to a private balcony overlooking the vast, glittering city. The wind carried the scent of recent rain and distant smoke. "Stay with me tonight," Queen said, her voice now a vulnerable plea. Poor looked deep into her eyes and she saw it all. Danger, love, and a profound, undeniable truth all mixed into one. "Always," she replied without a moment's hesitation. And beneath the endless neon lights of the city that never slept, the Queen and her favorite kissed again, slow, fearless, and entirely, completely theirs. That's the end of episode 5. I hope you enjoyed it. It's incredible to see how many of you are loving this series. But our YouTube analytics show that 98% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. That's a huge number. If you want to see what happens next with Queen and Poor, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It's the best way to support the channel and ensure you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.